when we approach Vedic knowledge, or any knowledge, actually Vedic, the word Veda means knowledge. Veda is knowledge. It's not sectarian. Knowledge cannot be sectarian. So 2 plus 2 is 4 in my religion, but in your religion 2 plus 2 is 5. No, 2 plus 2 only speak of knowledge is universal, provided it's real knowledge. As soon as it's becoming sectarian, then it's not knowledge. It's called faith, belief, or misconception also. Sometimes many people, a group of people, they have the same misconception. There's some false idea, and many people are following it, and actually they're all wrong, right? Yes. So this sometimes people, they say, well, if your Hare Krishna is the only true answer to everything, why there's only few of you? Sometimes people, they argue like that. Yes. And the whole world accepts something else, So this is a wrong consideration. Krishna says, Manusyanam saseshu kaschid yatati siddhaya yatadamapi siddhanam kachin mamiti tattvata. That amongst many millions of great yogis, great sages, great devotees who are trying to reach perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Hardly one. It is a very confidential knowledge, this Krishna consciousness. And why is it confidential knowledge? Because this world is a prison house. We have come here, all the living entities, all the conditioned living entities, they have come here to forget Krishna. Just like the prisoners, they go to the prison house because they don't want to function in the society where there's law and order. They don't like it. They want to violate the law and order, and that's why they put in a prison house, where they're not living in the regular society. The laws in the prison house are different, right? When you are outside, you have freedom. You can go to Hare Krishna temple, you can go to cinema, you can go marching band, whatever. But if they arrest you, you become a prisoner, then your freedom is very limited. So in the same way, we're eternally servants, just like the citizen in the country is always subjected to the law of the government. It's always like that. But there is a difference. For the regular citizen, the laws are not that stringent, right? You have freedom. You can go to university. You can do so many things, right? There are laws, like if you want to set up a business, then you need to follow certain rules and regulations. But you're not obliged to just do a business. You can do something else, You can study, you can travel, you can, so many varieties of things you can do. And in a prison house, you're forced to work. You have to go and hammer the bricks or something. They do. Okay? The prisoners, they have to go and work. I heard Ramachandra Prabhu told me that in the United States, these prisoners, they working in telemarketing. They're doing telemarketing. All these prisoners. So he cannot refuse. He cannot say, no, I don't feel like it. I don't like it. He has to. He's forced. The government forces. Go and follow. So this material world is for those conditioned souls, or for the minute souls which are conditioned, who want to rebel against Krishna, against God, and they are forced to accept His authority. In a spiritual world, there's nothing by force. Nothing by force. No one is serving Krishna out of force. Everything is Ananda Mayobhyas. Everything is full of Ananda, bliss. Everything is full of freedom. Everything is full of pleasure, eternal, full of knowledge. There's no anxiety. Everyone is serving Krishna out of his natural freedom, out of his freedom. love cannot be forced, right? If I say you love me, love me, love me, otherwise I'm going to shoot you in the head. Is it very nice? No one would like to love someone like that. So this is the position in the spiritual world. No one is serving Krishna out of force. So here it's different. Here people are serving Krishna indirectly, just like the police. Police is the representative of the government. They're actually called for law enforcement, right? That is the name they use, law enforcement. So the government has laws, and they set up the laws, and they're there. But you're not obliged to follow the law. See? You're not obliged. That is your freedom. You can violate the law. The government must give you this freedom. It's like they're trying to, eliminate the terrorism. So they put cameras, everything, security, and they try to eliminate the very possibility of terrorist act. But, I was reading some study, and some other scientists, they say, well, okay, that's fine, but you violating the rights of others, of the citizens. Now they have no privacy. Now it's so many. In order to solve one problem, you're creating another problem. So the government has to, although of course no government wants that the citizens become criminal, but the government, they have to allow this option that you can, if you want, you can commit a crime. And then there's the law enforcement and so on. This is not foolishness from the government side. This is what makes the living very nice and pleasurable, that we have freedom. See, I was born in a communistic country. I was 7 years old when the communism was finished in Slovakia, Czechoslovakia. And the state of affairs in a communistic country is horrible. It's horrible. Because you can't have freedom. You can't do what you want. You can't listen to the music you want. You can't eat the food you want. You can't... people here in the Western countries, now everything is different, but they have no experience of this. They can't really appreciate the freedom, because everything it was never denied, right? In the Canada or US, they never had such a horrible system. There's always freedom, democracy. So it is horrible existence. And Krishna is not like that. He allows this freedom. If you want, you can forget me, you can enjoy, you can become a demon, you can become a Hitler, Adolf Hitler, you can become a Mussolini, you can become whoever, Osama bin Laden, or I don't know. He gives that freedom to the living end. If he doesn't give that freedom, then it completely spoils the whole principle of loving relationship we have with Krishna. Right? The loving relationship becomes enforced. Just because that option is there, that relationship with Krishna we have is nice. See, if that option was not there, it would be kind of like, it would be boring, a relationship with Krishna. So here Prabhupada explains about the Vedic knowledge. When we approach the Vedic knowledge, we want to basically go back to that wonderful Sanatana sky, that eternal world where everything is full of freedom and we don't have to follow, dictates of the senses, and we don't have to suffer, and we can fully reciprocate. We all want to love someone. This is the general characteristic of every living entity. Everyone wants to love someone, and that someone is actually Krishna. But we have forgotten Krishna. We think, oh, this is Krishna, my girlfriend, or my husband, or my mom, or my dad, or my child. In this way, that original pure love of God becomes adulterated, and it actually becomes the source of misery. So when we approach the Vedic knowledge, we want to be free from this prison house. We want to go back to the reality, the natural world. So this is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, and this is the purpose of all Vedic knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedas. There are 4 Vedas, Rig, Sama, Yajur, Atharva Veda. And then there are others, Upanishads and Puranas and so on and so on. It's a very voluminous. The Vedic scripture, when you pile it together, is like many, many, many thousands of books, actually. It's such a great body of knowledge. There's no precedence, actually, in the world that one knowledge, one philosophy, there's so many books, so voluminous. There's no match. You can't match this. So sometimes it becomes a little difficult to understand the purpose of all these Vedic literatures. That's why the Bhagavad Gita is here. These are all the Vedic literatures in a summary, the summary of all the Vedas. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada says, just the Bhagavad Gita, nothing else, you can reach perfection. This Bhagavad Gita, the one I'm holding right now. If you read this book seriously, if you try to understand, if you try to practice the principles of the Bhagavad Gita, you don't need anything else. You don't need anything else, yeah. Why? Because here, the Lord Himself explains about Himself. You see? Just like if I want to know you, if I want to know Jessica. So I can ask, not Sylvain, but I can ask the friend of friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of Sylvain, who is Jessica. Right? Yeah, you can tell Sylvain some confidential information about yourself. My favorite food is such and such. You tell him. He tells his friend, he tells his friend, he tells his friend, and so on, so on, so on. And that friend, who I hear it from, that information got so twisted because people are imperfect that actually it will be something completely different from what is actually your favorite food. So this is called materialistic science. The science we have, this is a broken parampara, broken disciplic succession. Although they try to propagate this idea that the science is advancing and there's development and so on and so on, actually there is no knowledge. It's just speculation and competition. One person is competing. He wants to make something. He wants to defeat the previous scientist, and challenge his theories, and so he can get the credit. Like there was Albert Einstein, right? And there was another scientist who said that no, the theory of relativity is actually imperfect. There's some imperfection he found. And there was another one, and so it goes. So this principle of disciplic succession is not foreign. It's not sectarian. It's natural. This is how knowledge is passed down through authorities who preserve. Just like, you come here and you're hearing from me. I read this book, maybe a little bit more seriously. So now I'm explaining. It's natural, because, you can't read everything, know everything, research every single aspect of your life. That'll be very impractical, right? You go to a restaurant and first you want to learn how to cook the food before you taste it. So you know exactly, you can verify, because you don't want to blindly believe, right? You don't want to just take the food without verifying. So you go and you ask the cook, how did you cook it? And I want to learn it myself. I want to cook it myself, the food, and then, you can serve me that food, and it becomes very impractical, right? Naturally, what is going on in practical life is that you go to a restaurant, you order, you eat, that's it. You don't even verify. They might even put some poison. I was reading also in the newspaper that they made some fish in Quebec, and some person got poisoned and he got into hospital. So now when people come and they challenge that, well, what is the proof that Krishna is God, and this Vedic knowledge is the perfect authority, just as your spiritual master says? This is a very puffed up position, because everything in their life, pretty much all of things they do, they never verify, right? They never verify. You don't verify. Did you verify whether your date of birth is actually correct? You never even thought about it. It's on your ID. It's like, yeah, my mom told me. That's it. Have you ever verified who's your father? Whether your father is your real father? Have you verified? Your parents you might be adopted. Did you do a research? No? We just accept it. So many things we accept blindly. Right? They went on the moon. We just accept. The NASA says, the scientists say, okay, they show a movie, oh, we went on the moon. That's it. You don't make your own rocket and go to the moon and see whether the flag is there. Right? But when it comes to Krishna, see, when we say Krishna is God and you're supposed to surrender to Him, He is the boss of everything. And we better surrender to Him. Then all of a sudden, oh, let me verify. Now let me verify. Now all of a sudden, he becomes a great scientist, a great, verifier. So what is the difference? The difference is that these materialistic scientists, what is their purpose? Their purpose is sense gratification. See, why they make all these researches, why they go to the moon, why they do all these things, why they try to compete with one another, who has a better theory and so on and so on. Because of sense gratification. It's all the competition of how I'm going to get more money, how I'm going to get more fame, so I can enjoy my senses. Right? So, the thirst for knowledge is same. Everyone has some sort of, inquisitiveness. He wants to know. No one wants to be foolish. But the motivation is different. When we come to the Vedic knowledge, we should not be like animals. That, how can I enjoy some sex life nicely? Many people, when we do book distribution, they say, oh, you have Kama Sutra. You have Kama Sutra there. Kama Sutra. Prabhupada says Kama Shastra. It's called Kama Shastra actually. That is also there. It's part of the knowledge. It's there. But this is not the essence. This is not the essence. So, we should not approach the Vedic knowledge like animals. Senses. The animal, if a dog comes here and you give him the Bhagavad Gita, what is he going to do with it? He's going to sniff it. He's going to lick it. He's going to watch it. He's going to, I don't know.
Can bite it too.
He can bite it. He can eat it.
Yes.
But what he cannot do?
Read it.
Read or hear. Yes. He cannot understand what it means. He cannot apply the instruction. This is the difference between a man and an animal, or knowledge, and blind speculation or faith. See, also in a religious circle, that is also there. How can I enjoy my bread? Oh, God, give us our daily bread. See, the emphasis is the bread. The first, number one priority is, I'm hungry, I need some bread. Number two, where do I get it? Okay, God. See? So we should change it. Number one is God. Number two, bread. Number three, bread for God, not for me. You offer. You don't beg. Krishna has already given. This is our false idea. This is an atheistic idea. That I have to work, I have to, make money and da. Krishna has arranged this world in such a way, there's a complete arrangement for every living entity to get his necessities without working. Without working. We don't need to work. This work, why people have to work, ultimately? Because they want to gratify their senses. See, there's a difference.
Yes.
If you keep your body and soul together, just like we have to eat, we have to sleep, these are natural propensities, natural desires we have to fulfill. It is not sinful to eat or to sleep or even have sex life. To have sex life is not sinful. It's not sinful. It's natural. It's a natural propensity of the body. But when we eat unnecessarily, when we sleep unnecessarily, if we have sex life unnecessarily, then we become implicated. We become addicted. We become dependent. And because we're dependent, we need some extra. See, Krishna has given us whatever you need is already there. You won't eat their fruits. They're growing on their own. You don't have to work. See, Krishna, He designed. This is real God consciousness. Not simply believing, I believe in God, but see in reality. Look, Krishna is right here. The proof is right here. He made an orange. He made natural packaging. See, now people have problem with so much package. They want to ban the plastic. There's so much pollution to the environment. See? This is the envy to God. Yeah, Krishna made the natural packaging of a skin on the orange, but I'm going to make my own. I'm going to make plastic. There's a competition. I want to compete with God. And now they have problem. So much plastic. They don't know what to do with it. So we just have to see, actually, this is God. This tree which is growing, the seed is growing, giving fruits. Isn't that amazing? Is that an amazing miracle? An amazing miracle. It creates the seeds. You can't make this in your laboratory. You can have, nice chip and nice robots in Japan and nice Facebook and internet and artificial intelligence, but still you're so far away from the topmost scientist, Krishna, who designed this tree. You just pour water on it. Imagine. You just, the plants, like we're growing a little potato, tomato on our backyard, and it doesn't mean anything. Just water. Water you can get anywhere. It's free, almost, right? Water. So you just put water, and this is a great miracle. You have food. See? So if we're a little bit intelligent, and we'll see Krishna's arrangement all around us. All around us. The arrangement is there. So if we just see, this is Krishna consciousness, and we see, okay, this is Krishna is here. I don't have to unnecessarily work, because Krishna is giving. Krishna is taking care of me. He's watching. If I'm hungry, He's going to supply. Like that. If I become like that, then I don't have to work. But because we don't see this, we become paranoid. Well, what if Krishna doesn't supply? Okay, let me save some money on my bank account, and in case, and insurance and this, and I have to get a job, a good job, and like that. And this is how we become completely forgetful of Krishna. We become implicated in this matrix. So the way out of this is we have to become free from this addiction. We're addicted to enjoy unnecessarily, right? We don't need to eat so much, to sleep so much, have sex so much, and but because we're accustomed, now it's difficult to come back to our natural position. Just like the prisoner. Everyone starts, little children, they're all innocent, right? No one is a criminal. The little children, they're all nice and cute, and but because of association, they started smoking, started drinking in the teenage years. They started to have many girlfriends, boyfriends, this, that, going this party, that party. Oh, I have no money for drugs. Okay, let me steal here a little bit, just one time. Then let me steal more, or let me, Then it grows and grows and grows. It's like an avalanche. And then that person becomes a criminal. So, instead of, then it becomes difficult for the criminal to reform. Very, very difficult. He's so contaminated. The heart is so full of dirt. Even he wants. He cannot. It's against his will. He's pushed to commit crime again and again. It's like a vicious cycle. See, even he might go out of the prison, right? He serves his sentence, and he go out. The first thing he does, he commit a crime again. He can't help it, because the heart is not pure. Artificially, they can catch him and, force him. No, don't commit crimes. You be here in this room, locked up, and do the work. So artificially, he's there, yes. But because the pollution is not purified from the heart, as soon as he comes out, again, he commits a crime. So, in order to become free from this entanglement of Maya, we have to control our senses. We should not indulge unnecessarily. And we also have to understand the root of this problem. Why we want to unnecessarily enjoy. Because we want to imitate the Lord. We want to imitate God. You see? We want to be the enjoyer. We don't want Krishna to worship Krishna. I want to be worshipped. I want people to chant my name. I want to talk about myself, the I did, not Krishna. What I did, why I am very important, and so on and so on. So if we understand, if we control our senses, and when we understand that this is our root problem, that we're trying to play God here and trying to control everything, then we become free. You see? So simply denial is not sufficient. You have to engage practically. This Krishna consciousness works on the principle of param drishtva nivartate. In other words, the principle of higher taste. It is not that we have to wait to meet Krishna after we get liberated. Krishna is here. From the very beginning, when you chant, you can perceive Krishna's presence. Maybe it's minuscule, like you feel some happiness, you want to dance like that. It's minuscule, and it's not material. When you feel pleasure doing the kirtan, or you dance, or you take prasadam, and you very much like the taste, this is not a material sense gratification. You see? So now, the impersonalists, those who say that God is just the energy, like we spoke before, they simply know the negative. They understand, this is Maya, I'm getting entangled, so let me deny the pleasure of the senses. But that will not last, because unless I enjoy, I am not a living being. I have to enjoy. But what is that enjoyment? My enjoyment is through Krishna. Through Krishna. Just like when you water the root of a tree. I explained this example many times, but I explain it again because it's very essential. When you water the root of a tree, automatically all the branches and leaves are nourished. Automatically. So when you give pleasure to Krishna, you're not bereft of that pleasure. You're not losing anything. You are actually part of the tree. You're one of the branches. You're one of the leaves. So when you serve Krishna, the pleasure will come to you back. It will go to Krishna, but Krishna is not a section. He's not a section. He's not another branch. He's not another branch. Like people say, this is a branch of Hinduism. No, he's not a branch. He is the root. He is the root. So if we serve Krishna, instead of serving our senses, if we have some extra, we want to do some extra eating, or extra sleeping, or extra sex, if we do it for Krishna, all these things, then we'll not be implicated. It's like when you take prasadam and you overeat, you have a belly like this. You take many pakoras, many chapatis, lots of sabji, and we have to carry you out of the temple room. You eat so much prasadam. This is not material sense gratification. When you feel pleasure and you feel and you want to overeat, this is not material. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. So the Krishna consciousness, actually, it is spiritual sense gratification. Spiritual sense gratification. Whatever you feel in a material consciousness, I want to do this, I want to do that, for my sense. If you dovetail it for Krishna, it's like, let's say you want to be famous. So that propensity, you keep it. But be famous for Krishna. Be famous as the greatest devotee of Krishna. Then that propensity to be famous becomes spiritualized. You have to deny it. You realize it. See? So it's not a natural restriction, The Vedic knowledge is important because we have to know how to do this, how to spiritualize. We can't do this whimsically. There's a great danger, because if we do it whimsically, if we misinterpret the Vedic knowledge, if we create some concoction, or if we misunderstand, then instead of purifying and serving Krishna, we become degraded. We become implicated more. You see, so that's why this Vedic knowledge is important. And it is important to understand why the Vedic knowledge is infallible. It's infallible. We cannot argue. Just like, she said that. Why the bell? Why? That, we have to understand that, there's no why anymore. We simply have to accept. Prabhupada was giving the example of a cow dung. In the Vedas, it is mentioned that if you touch stool, an animal, or even your own, you have to take a bath to purify. In India, this is still the custom. Accidentally you step into like a dog poo or something. You go back to your home and you take a shower to purify. Even you didn't touch, with your skin. It's a subtle pollution on the consciousness. So you take a shower to purify. But at the same time, it is mentioned in the Vedas that the cow dung is pure. You ever seen the cow dung? The cow. The stool of a cow. Vache. La vache. That's actually stool of a cow is more pure than all this, how do you call it, the detergent.
Detergent?
Yeah, the one you're washing your dishes with.
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's savon?
Yeah, savon or things like that. The cow dung is way much more pure. Don't think it's an abominable stool. We actually, before we installed the temple here, we washed this whole place with cow dung.
Hmm?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah, because it's very pure.
Okay.
Yeah. The people in India, they cook.
Really?
They cook on cow dung. It's a very good burning agent.
Je pense que j'ai mal compris.
You clean it. You clean the place with cow.
With cow dung, yeah. Cow stool.
Il lave le plancher avec la caquette de vache
Ok, j'avais bien compris.
parce que c'est pur.
Yes.
Et donc they use it for plants too.
Yes. Yes.
Fertilizer.
Yes. And also cow urine. If you drink cow urine, it can actually cure some bladder disease or so many, everything. Cow is what, that's why cow is worshipped. Mother. That's why we don't kill the cow. It's a great sin to kill the cow. So,
Okay.
this is a contradiction. Now, on one hand, the Vedas say that stool is impure. On the other hand, cow dung is pure. Now, you can ask why. Just like you said, well, why cow dung? You're kind of like a little skeptical. Why? That why question should not arise. Because, some things you just have to accept. You just have to accept. You have to make an experiment. See, people, they're very much into, I want experience, I want experiment. So this is the perfect opportunity. Why don't you experience the Vedic knowledge? Just theoretically. We don't say that everyone will have immediately firm faith that the Vedas, whatever the Vedas say, and Krishna, and immediately I will accept everything, all the rules and regulations I will follow. We don't say that. But theoretically, anyone can accept this. If you theoretically accept that this is the perfect authority, what is the harm? What is the loss there? If you theoretically accept, theoretically means that it might be. You admit the possibility. In other words, you just don't deny the possibility that it might be true. That is all that is expected. That is all that is needed to understand the Vedic knowledge. You don't have to submit. You don't have to believe. All that is required is this willingness to admit that it might be. Not that it is. It might be so. Right? But unfortunately, people, they cannot even do this. They're so proud. They're so proud. They say, no, it can't be true because I couldn't see Krishna with my eyes. Or it can't be true because this is Hinduism. Or it can't be true because all religions are bogus. See, scandals in every religion, so this must be also like that. Or because I had some bad experience with religion before. So people are bringing all these biases. They might be true, okay, but you can't base your conclusion about the ultimate question of life. What is the purpose of life? Simply based on your limited experience. Our experience is always limited. Who am I? I'm not saying it's not valuable or it's not has no value. The experience we have is certainly very important, because it's the expression of consciousness, or the symptom of consciousness. We have experiences and we have our realizations and so on and so on. But when we come to God, we have to give this up. Seeing it through my filter. What I think, what my parents told me, what my religion says, what my country, what my race, all have to give up. We have to become open-minded. People say, they use it very cheaply, this term. I'm open-minded. Yeah, I'm open-minded. I'm not with any particular religion. I'm open-minded. But what does it mean to be open-minded? You cannot be open-minded if you are addicted to sense gratification, because all these biases, why they're there? Because why we cling to a certain group? Because that group gives me sense gratification. Just like why you call yourself Canadians? Because Canada gives you, pleasure for the senses. That's why we're playing along with the Canada scheme. It's all just big illusion. This country is not Canada. This is not Canada. That name has been given, and it will also be removed in the future. That name will be abolished. They will cancel this name, Canada. Let's say 5,000 years from now on. Can you guarantee that this place is going to be Canada, and the United States is going to be United States, and Quebec, and we're going to speak French in Quebec or English in Ottawa or whatever? So everything is going to be different. But now we make a big thing. Oh, Canada, I'm very proud, and there's a big illusion. There's like a madman. They're all madmen. They make a reality out of some concept which is not real. They cry, Canada, oh, I love my country. Right? It's all madness. It's all madness. So, in order to understand God, who is completely free from any bias, who is free from any sort of imperfection, we have to become qualified. Not that God or the spiritual master or the devotees, they have to become qualified to, explain us the science so we can understand through our biases. They're doing it. But we can't demand or can't criticize that it's their fault because I don't understand, it's their fault. No, it's always my fault. If I am sincere, if I want to get out of this prison house of material existence, if I'm not satisfied anymore with this temporary pleasure, I want the highest. People say, why should I join this Hare Krishna? There's so many restrictions, no illicit sex, no meat eating, and simply chanting Krishna. Or I want to enjoy. I want to have nice this. I want to be free, right? But they're not free. They are. I kind of missed my point now.
Suffering?
I'm sorry?
Suffering?
They're suffering, but I lost track of thought. Anyway, this Vedic knowledge has to be received without challenge. And it becomes very tricky because it very much resembles a dogma. That's why, it's difficult for us to accept. Like what? Krishna says at the end of the Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna, you go and kill your family members. And Arjuna says, yes, okay. This is actually the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells Arjuna, go and kill your family. And Arjuna says, yes, thank you, I will do it. And that is considered to be like the highest perfection, that he kills his own family. The highest expression of love of Godhead. But actually, yes, this is what it is. Knowledge, when we come to knowledge, sentiments, they have to be put aside. Knowledge we cannot mix with the sentiments. Knowledge is knowledge. Not that, oh, I don't like the truth, so the truth is not good. Sometimes truth hurts. Most of the time, actually. A lie is very nice and oh, I love the lie. But when the truth comes, oh, it creates so much conflicts and agitation and so on and so on. So this is sincerity. That I should not subjugate the truth, and especially the absolute truth about God, to my liking or disliking. The truth is there. I might not like it. It's like it's not unnatural, some of the concepts Krishna says, they're challenging our, sentiment, and we become affected. But keep it separate, Keep it separate. We have a feeling, we have sentiments, but what is actually the truth? I have some biases, I have some differences of opinion, I have some material desires, I can't do this, I can't do this. Keep it separate. Okay, that is you. That is your imperfection. What is the ideal is the ideal, and that's it. As long as you like this, then ultimately, whatever imperfection you have, whatever ignorance you have or misunderstanding, it will be adjusted. Krishna will make sure that you will understand everything in due course and you will follow all the principles. Krishna will help you. There's no other way how to actually come out of this place. Krishna must help you. Krishna must help you. And He will help you only if you're sincere. So, this is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. That I have to submit. That let me not argue. Let me not challenge. Let me simply accept. Let me make an experiment. I have been arguing. I've been trying to do it my own way. I have simply suffered. I am not happy. So let me give this up. Let me give up this. I want to do it my way. No. Just open yourself to the direction of Krishna. And with such mind, not blindly, except with open mind, you study the instruction. And if you study, Krishna is not, he's explaining the whole Bhagavad Gita. Before Arjuna went to fight, Krishna explained 700 verses from all angles of vision. It's not that Krishna just told him, you do this, and if you don't do it, I'm going to kill you because I'm God. Even he could do it, but even God is so nice that He explains scientifically everything for your benefit. So you understand with your heart, with your intelligence, not simply for some material purpose. That I bomb for God, I put bombs on people, I do some terrorism, and then I go to heaven and worship and enjoy 60 virgins or how many, right? The Islam people, No. With understanding, why am I chanting Hare Krishna? The two goes side by side. You do service, you do practice, and side by side you learn why we're chanting Hare Krishna, why we're cooking, and so on and so on. And you enjoy. The service is actually very pleasing. When you cook for Krishna, actually the effect it has on your consciousness is that in the beginning we want to cook because I want to know how to do these nice foods so I can make them myself whenever I want and eat. But when you start doing this, when you start meditating on Krishna's pleasure and controlling your senses and the cleanliness, and you chant some rounds before you purify your consciousness, and you hear Srila Prabhupada's voice while cooking, and so on, you can observe Ramachandra, you can ask him how he's cooking, he will tell you. It's a very confidential service. Then the natural effect is that you actually lose taste for the offering. The service itself becomes more exciting than the very eating, But of course, we all eat. We honor prasadam. We have this very nice activity. But actually, this is the effect. You will like it so much because again, the principle: you give pleasure to Krishna, you are pleased as a soul, not as a body. See, the water of the root goes inside of the branch, inside of it. If you water the branch from the outside, we try to enjoy the senses, it doesn't go inside. That's why the soul feels, like that guy on the picture, frustrated. But if you serve Krishna, it goes into your soul. It's a pleasure of your soul. So the pleasure you derive from serving Krishna cannot be matched by anything in this world. But externally it seems like the material service. It's a drag, I have to do this, so many rules, and then don't be fooled. Just have faith that Krishna and the spiritual master and the Vedas, they give you this injunction. It might not feel good for the time being, but let me continue. Let me have patience. And ultimately I will taste the pleasure of Krishna consciousness. So I'll stop here. It's 7 o'clock. If there are any questions, please, you can ask.
Thank you. C'est des questions?
Non, je suis comme...
From how many years now you've been practicing?
How does it matter?
No, just, it doesn't matter. It's curiosity, that's all it is.
Yeah, few years now.
Okay.
I read the Bhagavad Gita. Practicing is another thing, but I would say that the practice begins from hearing.
Hearing.
As soon as you hear, like now, you already started. It might take longer, it might take shorter,
Yes.
but as soon as you hear, you started. So I read the Bhagavad Gita for the first time in 2001.
Okay.
Year 2001.
Thanks to share.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because, see, I might be practicing since 2001. But if you're sincere, see, it took me so many years to actually, I was implicated so many things. It took me so many years to, I'm not saying that I'm surrendered, but at least to the extent that
for purification.
I'm doing this
Yes.
like a full-time
Yes.
engagement.
Yes.
It took me so many years, but see, this is the beauty of spiritual consciousness, that because we're spirit soul, you can develop such eagerness for Krishna that you can become a very serious devotee in 1 second.
Yes.
Prabhupada says this.
That's what they say in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes,
It can be instantly.
instantly you can become. It simply depends on you, how seriously you take it. How seriously you take it. But that seriousness, it can also be awakened. It can also be assisted. And there are certain things. One of the most important support for our sincerity to grow is devotee association.
Yeah, contact with devotees.
Devotee association, yes. You get inspired. Oh wow, okay. He's doing, so maybe I can also do. You get kind of like inspired. Well, if he can do, maybe I can also do.
Yes.
We're humans, so I can also do.
Thank you.
So just please, come as many times as possible. We're always here. We can adjust the schedule.
Yes.
We're always happy when people are inquiring about Krishna. You can see. I don't do this for money. It's my pleasure to explain about Krishna. It's my pleasure. I derive a lot of pleasure from it.
That you're very enthusiastic and
Yeah.
you're right into it.
Yeah. So don't hesitate. Please come. You can learn so much. If some rules are too difficult, they seem scary, don't mind. We're not looking at like who's at which level are you. Oh, you cannot do this and like that. It's whatever you want to take. We're practicing Krishna consciousness for my benefit, not for anyone else.
Yes.
It's for my benefit. Even Krishna doesn't care whether you can Hare Krishna or not. There are millions and millions of devotees doing such kirtans for him that we can't match that, even if we try, for millions of lifetimes. But if I chant with sincerity, I'll be happy.
Yes.
And Krishna will be happy, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
But beside that. So please come, let's chant, if you have any questions, if you have some challenges, you can ask. If you have some like, I don't agree with this, or this seems, you can discuss. It's not a crime to do a little, like, questioning. And
Yes, for sure.
it's fine. Alright, any other questions?
Un commentaire.
Commentary.
Un commentaire. En mode de choc, because it's so beautiful condition.
Okay.
Ben,
So, take it up. If it's beautiful, then you become beautiful by taking up the beautiful
too
process.
Simple. It's too simple.
Yes. Simple for the simple, difficult for the crooked.
No, I realize many things that it's explain.
Yes, but you know, this might be like a sentiment. Sentiment comes and goes. You might forget. Yeah, you might forget. That's why we say that please read these books. You know, you can take a book with you. We have some even for sale. Take a book. Might not be, if you Bhagavad Gita is too big, too intimidating, take some small book. Take a small pamphlet, and keep on reminding yourself. None of that I'm going out of the temple and then it was nice and now okay, let me enjoy it and forget the whole thing.
Can I make a phone call? Or should I have been anything before?
Yeah.
I need to call
Yeah,
someone.
sure.
Okay, sorry. Because I'm not feeling it.
Alright, so I'll stop here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yadarachiman Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Namo Vishnu Padaya.